The Toyota dealers of the Western Cape present the penultimate round of the National Championships, the Toyota Dealer Rally. The Toyota Dealer Rally was destined to be a battlefield, the drivers, navigators and the manufacturers' championships being the spoils of war. Each of the top 7 teams stand within reach of national honours. Special Stage 1 is a short but tight dash around the parking area at Greenpoint Stadium. Sarah van der Merwe and Frans Boshoff start proceedings in front of a huge Cape Town crowd. With 1 first, a second and 4 non-finishers this season, the team is out of the championship contention. Local rally heroes, Serge Damso and Vito Bonafide, themselves well down the championship log, are desperate to win this event for other reasons. Having never won their own event, Toyota have their faith and honour resting on this team. Toyota have entered no fewer than 6 other factory teams to back their effort. Possibly Toyota's major obstacle to victory could be one of these Nissan Sentras. Looking aggressive in both appearance and ability, the crowd is treated to some wild slides by Hannes Grobler and Piet Swanepoel, who lie joint 3rd in the championship. The stage was won by Serge Damso in a time of 58 seconds. Jannie Habig, seen with navigator Douglas Judd, clocked in 1 second slower than the Toyota, while teammate Grobler finished in a time just 1 second off that. Special Stage 2 is a unique climb up the slopes of Signal Hill. With Cape Town as a backdrop, the stage starts and ends on tar, the steep ascent being gravel. With all 4 wheels delivering traction, the rugged little Conquest attacks the slope with every available bit of horsepower. The car is reported to be in great shape, while Serge himself is now fully recovered from a torn Achilles tendon. Hungry for championship points, the Grobler-Swanepoel Sentra looking good and sounding strong. Defending their slender lead in the championships, Enzo Kuhn and Johan Seelung have their work cut out for them in the less powerful Class C Conquest. At the age of 21, Enzo is regarded as one of the brightest young prospects in South African rallying. 35-year-old Johan has 11 years' experience in the navigator's seat, making the team one of the hottest prospects on the road. It's on to Killarney Racetrack for the 3rd stage of the day and the first high-speed test for the drivers. The Volkswagen dealer team entry of Glenn Hall and Martin Botha are currently lying 2nd in the national championships and closing fast. Having scored consistently well all season, this talented team certainly have the ability to take the title. They also have the ability to keep their Class B Golf up in the Class A competition. To prove their point, they clocked a winning time on this stage of 3 minutes and 25 seconds. Toyota have a wealth of experience in the form of Eric Sanders and the recently acquired Cassie Coetzee. Cassie, driving with his long-standing partner Wiley Harrington, have made a welcome, although rather explosive return to the rally season. Always impressive in his Skyline, the talented Coetzee pushes the little Class C Conquest to new limits. Nissan's Nuno de Cunha had problems getting his Skyline around the hairpin bend, losing valuable time in the process. But he wasn't the only driver having problems. A slightly different Ralph Chadwick taking a slightly different line. Showing unusual driving skill, Paolo Piazza Musso managed to uproot both direction markers in one foul swoop. He also chose the scenic route out of the bend. But then, why be normal? Then came Johnny Olivier, all crossed up. Koos Roos tried to put the Skyline's boot where the bonnet should be. But the marshals weren't impressed, so they went on their way. Glenn Durman and Charles Reeler made no mistakes, which helped secure their early Class D lead. On to the Durbanville area for Special Stage 4, and then to the Durbanville horse racing course for the last stage of the day. Damso and Bonafide prepare to start Stage 5, having won the first and fourth stages. The Conquest scored a time of 1 minute and 25 seconds, 2 seconds faster than Van der Merwe's Golf. Hannes Grobler and Piet Swanepoel then powered their Sentra Coupe through the stage in an equal time. Only to be matched a few cars later by Nick de Waal and Guy Hodgson. So, as the cars were put to rest overnight, Serge Damso and Vito Bonafide emerged the leaders by just 9 seconds, with a total penalty time of 12 minutes and 52 seconds. Then followed the Grobler-Swanepoel Sentra with the Van der Merwe Boshoff Golf third. In fourth place overall and leading Class B, Glenn Hall and Martin Botha. Eric Sanders leads Class C, while Durman and Reeler lead Class D.
Serge, a 9-second lead, a little bit close for comfort?
Yes, it is. Yesterday we just had a bit of a taste of the rally, I reckon. And I think today is where everything's going to happen. The first 3 stages are all long 3 stages, so I think that's where it's going to start seeing the cars dropping out.
Does the pressure get to you at all, or are you an old hand at this?
I don't know the pressure, but there is definitely pressure. I mean, 9 seconds is not much. I mean, you can lose that up so easy. I mean, and you don't see the competitor once you're in the stage, so you don't know what's actually the next car's doing.
As the cars prepared to leave Killarney on their way to the early morning start of Special Stage 6, very few competitors had any idea of the drama that lay ahead. Overnight leaders Serge Damso and Vito Bonafide tumbled back to 15th place. A puncture sidelined the Conquest at the first stage of day 2, the problem costing them almost 5 minutes in scoreboard time. Zara van der Merwe retired his Golf after the exhaust on their Synchro came adrift and set fire to the wiring harness in Stage 7. The Toyota Cruise fared badly in the early stages of Day 2. Eric Sanders suffered the same fate as Damso with a puncture in Stage 6. Enzo Kuhn and Johan Seeling broke a drive shaft on their Conquest in Stage 7, resulting in a 3-minute setback, while Nick de Waal retired at the end of Stage 8 with a blown engine. Having taken the lead from Damso in Stage 6, Hannes Grobler lost 30 seconds himself when his shock absorber seized in Stage 8. This gave teammate Jannie Hubig a shot at the lead.
Jannie, 3 stages into the day, things starting to look good.
Yes, Roger, we're leading the rally by about 5 seconds. Hannes is behind us.
How are you going to play the rest of the day?
We'll try and stay out front, of course.
The remaining stages of the day take the competitors through the wheat farms of the Swartland area. Conditions vary from fast, straight roads to rough tracks. From the Berg River in the north, it's south towards Malmesbury and finally the Killarney racetrack to finish the event. Hubig's problem started here on Stage 9 when the marshal reported a jumped start. The control clock would record this, but the accusation remains a worrying rumour throughout the day. A penalty of 10 seconds for every 1 second jumped could promote teammate Hannes Grobler. Grobler dearly wants to win this event in his quest for the championship. Serge Damso, in a desperate charge from a lowly 15th position, takes on a nothing-to-lose attitude and in just 3 stages has pulled himself back to 5th position overall. With Zara van der Merwe retired, the Volkswagen factory must rely totally on the efforts of Johan Evertse and Steve Harding. The newly built Golf Synchros have suffered with lingering teething problems. Underpowered motors and soft gearboxes have sidelined both cars for the latter part of the season. On this event, Johan and Steve have quietly got on with their business and have in fact benefited from the early morning problems that the others have suffered. If Johan can keep the Golf in the rally, along with Glenn Hall, Paolo Piazzamusso and Leon Botha, VW have a good chance of the Manufacturers' Award. Glyn and Martin have their eye firmly set on the Drivers' and Navigators' Championships. Of course, Grobler and Swanepoel have different ideas. Leon Botha and Francois Jordan have moved up into the top 5 and are currently the highest placed privateers in the rally. They have won 6 out of 10 stages in the privateer category. Koos Roos and Dave McGregor have put in a consistent drive and have powered the big skyline from 22nd place into the top 10. The drive of the day must go to Serge Damso, who in a burst of sheer brilliance finds himself back in the company of the leading cars. They have won every special stage since the disastrous stage 6, some by as much as 30 seconds.
Serge, you really are flying now.
Well, we've got nothing to lose, though. We're trying to make up some time anyway.
Well, you've gone from 15th to 5th in just 2 stages.
Ralph Chadwick and Mike Constable have fought back to take the lead in Class D. A farmyard maze becomes a real test for the Navigators. We eavesdrop on Piet Swanepoel as he directs Hannes through this tricky section.
Links en dan weer rechts. Rechts. Daai kant toe. Net na hierdie gebou, heppen links. Kyk vir die pyle, hoor. Heppen links. En dan kruispad links. 90 links die voor jou. Right left. Dan rechts. Links weer een keer. Links tussen die 2 gebouwen. Rechtuit. En dan rechts hier voor je. En dan weer rechts in de T-junction of verder. 150 weer bij een gebouw voorbij. Hou rechts hier zo. 100. Heppen links. Heppen links. 90 recht door die einde van die plaats. Recht door.
So, if you thought Navigators were just passengers there for the ride, think again. We are staying with the leaders because this is where the action is. Habig and Grobler have to painfully watch the conquest of Serge Damso slowly shave off seconds on each stage. On special stage 12, the conquest pulled away from the camera helicopter, our pilot estimating Serge's ground speed at over 200 kilometers per hour. Johnny Habig and Douglas Judd still hold over a minute's lead on their teammates Grobler and Swanepoel. Johnny is driving at a speed to keep it there. Being first into the stages, Hannes is setting the pace and must rely on radio reports from Douglas Judd as to the Toyota's progress. Habig, driving behind the Toyota, has the advantage of seeing Serge's times. Nissan would like Habig and Judd to relinquish their lead to Grobler, who has a real chance at the championships. The points from winning the Toyota dealer rally would in fact place Grobler and Swanepoel on top of the national log. After crossing the Berg River for the last time, it's back to the battlefield, where we join Hannes and Piet in their Sentra at the Malmesbury stage.
90 meter, 90 left. 90 left, ja. Speed bump, speed bump. Rechts. Op grond 40 meter T-junction links. Links. En weer rechts op tier. Right op tier. 50 meter kruispad rechts.
In front of a huge crowd, Hannes throws the Sentra around the tight course. The Stanek press van has informed the spectators of the current situation, so his efforts are awarded with applause. Ever present is the leading Class B Golf of Hall and Botha. Sandwiched between the Nissan Sentras and the Toyota Conquest, Glyn Hall is caught up in the excitement of the charging Serge Damso, hoping that the pace up front will somehow work out to his advantage. The informed crowd erupts as the local boys in their Conquest tackle the stage. Serge and Vito are now only 30 seconds behind Hannes and Piet, with just this and one more special stage to go. Further down the field, Leon Buerter and Francois Jordan lead Class C, while Ralph Chadwick and Mike Constable lead Class D. As the leaders of the event, the Sentra is placed first on the road. But with the possibility of a penalty hanging over their heads, Habig and Judd have a problem. If they stop in the final Killarney stage to give teammates Grobler and Swanepoel a win, they could just unwittingly promote the Toyota as well. As the Nissan enters the final stretch of the rally, it becomes obvious that Yanni and Douglas intend to complete the stage. Without official clarification from the organizers, the risk of playing with time is just too great.
I think as far as I'm concerned, we're still first.
Hannes Grobler and Piet Swanepoel finish in an air of uncertainty. No official can clarify the situation. And to make it worse, the provisional winners, Yanni Habig and Douglas Judd, are denied the honor of the traditional champagne and laurel wreath ceremony. It later turned out that the so-called jump start was in fact never officially recorded by the marshal on stage 9. And so the results stand. Yanni and Douglas win the 1990 Toyota Dealer Rally ahead of teammates Hannes Grobler and Piet Swanepoel. Serge Damso and Vito Bonafide hold a deserving third ahead of Johan Evertse and Glenn Hall. Glenn Hall and Martin Buerter's Class B win, together with the 16 points they get for finishing 5th overall, promotes them to the top of the national championship log. Hannes Grobler and Piet Swanepoel are now second, only 1 point behind. With just 1 round left, the Westbank International becomes the deciding event of the season.